Hey, what's up? Ian here, and this is the latest tuning from Crinacle and in collaboration with Kiwi ears, and it's called the Singolo. It's a single dynamic driver, hence the name Singolo, and it's 11 millimeters dynamic driver, and it comes with a special KARS acoustic system, which stands for Kiwi Acoustic Resonance System, which I'll explain a little bit later. And this whole package here comes at a price of $79 US, and it's available on Linso's website. So if you want to find out more, do check out the unaffiliated link in the description below. On the side here, you do get some specifications, which I'll read out to you. The frequency range is 20 to 20,000 Hertz. Impedance is 32 ohms, and the sensitivity is 108. And this is the IEM that you will get. And it's pretty alright. I mean, it's a usual IEM shape, as you can see. It's a little bit on the thicker side, which I'll explain a little bit later. But first, let's go through the accessories that this comes with. Two sets of ear tips. Both of them are quite wide bore, but I don't use them. They are not giving me a good seal, so I'm using my own Final E ear tips, as you can see here. And the cable. So this is the stock cable that comes with the Singolo. It's a single core cable. It's not braided, and it's got a angled 3.5 headphone jack, and it's got a chin slider, which is somewhere here. It's a plastic chin slider, as you can see. It's plastic, okay, and a metal barrel as the Y split. Ear hooks are soft, a little bit on the softer side, not too stiff, which is okay, and it's terminated with a 2-pin connector to the IEM itself. Now let's talk about the design and the build quality of this IEM. As I mentioned, there is a special KARS system, resonance chamber, I would call it a resonance chamber, that is on the side here, right? So this entire shell is 3D printed, as you can see, and it's 3D printed because of this chamber right here. So to achieve this shape, they need to 3D print the entire shell. It's made of resin. By the way, the faceplate comes in two colors. Either you can choose black or blue, so it depends on your choice. The one I have here is black, and the entire shell itself is quite thick, alright, and the nozzle is a little bit on the shorter and stubbier type of nozzle, and it's wide, right? It's a very wide nozzle. Okay, so now let's talk about this KARS system. So what happens is that this resonance chamber actually so-called retunes the sound. So as what Crinacle has mentioned, he used this resonance chamber to actually adjust the tuning of the mid bass, the 200 Hertz area, and also actually, you know, this is what I feel, it adds a little more extension to the sub bass. Yeah, that's what I felt, and you know, this is kind of a special feature to me, but I don't know, some people may call it a gimmick or a novelty. It depends on how you look at it. For me, it does, you know, add some kind of value to the sound that you're listening to, and it does change the sound a little bit. Okay, alright, so that's for the design and build quality. Now let's talk about the fit and comfort for this. Fit and comfort is a little bit odd. Okay, as you can see, if I don't hook the cable over my ear, it fits my ear very well, but the moment I hook the cable over my ear, the cable will tend to pull the IEM out from my ear, and I keep losing my seal. Hence, when I'm using the stock ear tips, I keep losing my seal, and it's not giving me a good seal. Yeah, and it's hard to find ear tips for these earphones because the bore is quite wide, and not many ear tips can fit this you know, earphone. So I'm using my Final E ear tips, which is fine. Okay, it does give me a decent seal, and when it gives me a good seal, the sound is really good. Okay, So that's for the fit and comfort. Now let's talk about the sound of this IEM. First, the technical performance for this. I would say it's alright, but for $79 it's pretty decent. Is in terms of value for money, the type of clarity and the overall resolution of the sound that you get. It's a little bit underwhelming, to be honest, and also with the accessories that it comes with. Price is a little bit on the steep side. But that being said, in terms of the performance of these earphones is pretty decent, it's good, alright? So resolution is good, but you know, at a lower price I can get something similar. But in terms of soundstage is, okay, to me the soundstage for this is a little bit odd, but odd in a good way. It's some sort of like in a chamber, like a soundproof chamber, some sort, and it's like an enclosed chamber, but it's a big room. Okay, it's spacious. It's a little bit echoey, and it's, well, whatever I'm listening to sounds like it's a little bit of a distant away. So yeah, and it's a little bit pillowy type of soundstage, if there's a word for that. But other than that, it's pretty alright. It doesn't sound natural to me, but it's got an airiness, quite a bit of airiness to the soundstage that I'm getting from this IEM. Now, in terms of sound separation, is pretty alright, and in terms of instruments being defined in their own space, I guess it's alright. It's not a very clear definition. It's something similar to what I just reviewed, which is the this one, which is the Q1 Pro. It's quite similar to this Q1 Pro, which I just reviewed. Okay, so that's for the sound separation. The detail retrieval is also quite similar. It's just that maybe the resolution on this is a little bit better than this Q1 Pro. So I would say in terms of the details being retrieved is there, but again, it's like being pillowed type of definition, which I can't really explain. Maybe it's because of the resonance chamber or something like that. So when I'm hearing that definition, it's clear, it's resolute, and but it's a little bit veiled type of yeah, that's what I hear from these earphones. So that's for the technical performance of this Singolo. Now let's talk about the tone and timbre for this. This is fun, it's casual, it's musical, it's textured type of tone and timbre, is warm at the same time, is casual sounding. So it's actually quite similar to this Q1 Pro. Okay, so in terms of tone and timbre, it's not lean or neutral sounding at all, totally the opposite. Okay, and I would say this is more casual listening. Okay, now in terms of sound signature, let me just move one side and post the graph somewhere here. So as you can see, the this dotted line here is the Harman curve, and the overall bass shelf is just a bit above the Harman curve. Okay, the mid bass over here is tucked, and the mids have been well, pushed up just a bit because of the bass tuck there, and the overall gain to the treble is a little bit below the Harman curve, and the treble here is a dark treble, and it rolls off pretty naturally. So in a nutshell, that's the tuning of this IEM. So let's go into the details of this overall tuning. Basically, for the sub bass, I would say this sub bass is big, is voluptuous, is huge, is thick, and textured, very slurpy type of sub bass. And I feel that the extension of this sub bass is pretty unique and very satisfying type of sub bass. The rumble is really strong, and it feels like an earthquake on this rumble, and it's really satisfying for this sub bass. Now the mid bass, on the other hand, is a little bit shy on the impact. The punch and the impact is a little bit on the shy side, and which, you know, to me, I don't feel that rhythm of the song or the track that I'm listening to. Usually when I listen to When the Sun Shines on Me by AHA, and I get that rhythm there, especially snares. Snares really keeps up the rhythm and the impact of the song. On this is like a pillowed type of snare hit, and I don't get that impact there for this the mid bass. For the mids, they are forward, but they sound a little bit distant from me. Instruments, they sound a little bit pillowed, and vocals as well, but they are clear. The details are there, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video about the technical performance of this. It sounds a little bit pillowed and muffled, I would say, maybe blunt. But that's the clarity. The clarity there, the resolution is there. It's just yeah, it sounds a bit distant. Okay, and it took away the overall sparkle of the sound, which I was looking for when I'm listening to my instruments, and vocals as well. I mean, male vocals, they sound pretty good on this. I mean, it's got authority and presence in the mix. Male vocals are not really affected, but female vocals with that higher octaves, and at times in a certain part of the song, you get that emotional response when you listen to female vocals. But because of that, the sparkle is a little bit taken away, and the bite is not there. I find that female vocals, you know, they sound a little bit dull on this IEM. Okay, so that's for the mids, all right, and the peanut gain to the treble is a little bit laid back type of peanut gain. If you look at maybe the 1K hertz region, the slope up is a little bit below the Harman curve, which is, well, in a way is good, right? You don't get shout. You don't get that shoutiness and that in-your-face type of presentation. Sometimes female vocals, they tend to sound a little bit too intense. But on this IEM, it sounds a little bit laid back, a little bit shy type of female vocals, and also the snares as well, especially. And hi-hats and cymbal crashes. They tend to lose that grit when they are in the mix. So yeah, that took away a little bit of that excitement and that energy from the track itself. And if you look at the treble is a dark treble. It's a recessed treble. The presence is all dipped down, especially when you look at the 3K region and below. It starts to slope down, all right, and that makes the overall treble a dark treble. So the presence of it, the brightness of it, the sparkle, especially for female vocals, the snares, hi-hats, they're all taken out from the mix itself. And then it spikes back up roughly about the 9K to 10K region, and that brings back a little bit of airiness to the mix for the treble. So you can hear the extension of the treble for cymbal crashes, female vocals. You know, they do trail off a little bit with an air to it. It's not like a thud, maybe not a thok. It's more of a tack kind of extension of the treble. So to me, it's pretty alright. It depends on your listening preference. This is not my preference. I would prefer my treble to be on the brighter side, a more energetic treble. The gain to be a little bit more energetic, and also the brightness of the treble to be a little bit more exciting. I wouldn't say spicy, alright? I also don't want my treble to be too spicy, because it might give me sibilance and shout, but this is just the opposite. It's actually quite dull in terms of the treble. Okay, so that's the overall sound signature of this Singolo And I would say this is actually suitable for those of you who are sensitive to treble. Yeah, it is actually the same as this Q1 Pro. It's just that Q1 Pro is a little bit brighter, which I'll compare with later, all right? But this is actually suitable for those dark techno kind of songs, whereby, you know, you don't want any sibilance in your music, you don't want any shout to your music. And yeah, so when I listen to this, I listen to mostly electronic music on this, not so much of classical and jazz on this, okay? And it's suitable for, I guess, beginners, right, who might like this type of tuning, or who is experimenting of what type of sound signature that is suitable for, you know, beginners. But for those of you who are already in this hobby, it depends, right? If you want to add this to your collection and you have the means to do that, by all means, go ahead. But I wouldn't go for this. Firstly, because of the price, right? $79 US is a little bit on the steep side to ask for. I mean, this is a resin, you know, I do understand why it's resin, but, you know, it doesn't feel premium, and the accessories that comes with it also doesn't feel that it's worth that $80. There's quite a few other IEMs that can achieve this type of sound without adding this resonance chamber, right? So yeah, that's my take on this Singolo. Now let's compare it with some other IEMs that I've listened, compared it with one by one. And this here is the EA 500, which I compared with. So EA 500 with the Singolo, right? In terms of the overall technical performance, I would say the EA 500 is a little bit better, okay, compared to the Singolo. Price wise, both are actually the same, pretty similar, $79. In terms of the overall soundstage, this sounds more natural to me. The tone and timbre sounds more natural to me. This is more of a balanced tuning as compared to the Singolo, and the overall sound signature of this sounds better to my ears than the Singolo. Okay, this is my preference, by the way. I mean, as I mentioned in all my videos, especially my live video, this is my preferred earphone for this price point. Okay, so I am comparing to my preferred earphone, and this is, yeah, this is how it sounds comparing to my preferred earphone, and also comparing with this Q1 Pro, which I just reviewed. Both have quite similar tuning, both have quite similar type of tone and timbre. In terms of technical performance, this will outshine the Q1 Pro. Okay, Singolo has much better tech performance than the Q1 Pro. Resolution on this is much better. The overall performance and the distortion on the Singolo is much better than this Q1 Pro. But the Q1 Pro is $30. The Singolo is $80. So it's like 3 times more, almost 3 times more than the Q1 Pro. So is the price to performance worth it in terms of the price difference? I don't know. But anyway, that's the difference I get from this two. Alright, so that's my overall comparison with the rest of my earphones. And also that concludes my overall review and opinion of this Kiwi Ears X Crinacle Singolo. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.